What's going on, guys? So if you're interested in hearing me ramble about Battlefield 3 for a while, stick around because I'm going to be doing that. And this is a game that you may recognize from the last showdown, and it is a game where I went 15-2 with a revolver, and a lot of people asked to see the full-length gameplay. And you know, I was reluctant to put it up at first because I don't like having reoccurring clips on the channel, but I probably got 15 or 20 messages, which is like triple what I ever get in messages when I put out a video, asking to see the full-length gameplay of the Magnum video. And I was like, all right, well, I guess I will put it out there for you guys, because I did only show you guys a couple clips here and there. But I wanted to talk a little bit about sidearms in general, since in the last showdown we were focusing mainly on the Rex and the Magnum, and a lot of people ask, like, what is my favorite sidearm? You know, there are a lot of choices out there, so we're gonna start off with the single fire, you know, semi-auto choices out there, and which I prefer out of them. Now, I will point out that I often always use the G18, but we'll talk about that a little bit later on. But if I'm going to go with a semi-auto pistol, the choices are either like the G17 suppressed, you know, the G17 normal, the M9, the M1911, which you can only get if you had like that code. I don't really know how you got the code. I know I have it on both console and PC, so I don't know how you got the 1911. It was something with the EA Gun Club or something along those lines. And then you have the MP433 or 443, I think it is, which is similar to the M9. I think it has 18 rounds in it, and you can have it either unsuppressed or suppressed. Now, me personally, I'm always going to pick a suppressed pistol. Now, hear me out on this. The reason why I always pick a suppressed pistol, I feel like if I'm to the point where I need to use a pistol, I'm going to want to be suppressed. And the reason why I'm going to want to be suppressed is because I'm going to be at an extreme disadvantage, because most of the pistols drop down to a 17 damage pistol at range, so it's going to take 6 shots. What is that, 6 shots, or is it 7 shots to kill somebody? And I mean, you've got 18 rounds in most pistols other than the I think the 1911 has a little bit less than that. I'm not sure how many they have in their magazine, but it's going to take a lot of shots to kill a person. So I found that you might as well be suppressed, because it'll keep you off the radar. It'll keep people from swarming to you when you only have a pistol. And I've just found that it's a lot more advantageous to run a suppressed secondary. I almost never run unsuppressed. If you see me running unsuppressed, it's because of a complete accident. Or I'm running the revolver, which obviously you cannot silence either of the revolvers. And you're going to see right here, one of the huge disadvantages to using the Magnum and revolvers in general is just a slow rate of fire. And it makes you at a pretty big disadvantage. So that's why I tend to run the G18. Now, there is the Raffica, which I guess you could say is almost fully auto, because you can fire, it is a burst fire weapon, but you can fire it so fast that it's basically fully auto. So the Raffica is a good, I guess you could say, a good complement to the G18. The Raffica it's pretty low damage as well, but I don't know what it is about the Raffica. It's just really hard for me to aim. I do use it a lot on PC. I do not have it unlocked on console. You might see me from time to time run the Raffica as a kind of a complement to the G18, because it's just a little bit different. But the biggest disadvantage I found with the Raffica is the fact that you cannot run it suppressed. So you always have to be unsuppressed, and I hate that. So I don't really use the Raffica a whole lot. It is an option, though, if you want something that's a little bit more precise. The G18 does possess a lot of recoil. I will point out that the Raffica does have a lot of recoil as well. So that being said, G18 suppressed is my go-to secondary. If I'm going to have a secondary, it will be the G18 suppressed. I guess if I'm going to go semi-auto, I'm probably going to either use the G17C suppressed, or I'm going to use the MP443 or whatever it's called. I know I'm probably getting it wrong. And those are my two choices in that respect. I probably won't do any more showdowns on secondaries unless we get really bored really late in the season. You know, we've done so many showdowns and we have nothing left to do. Then maybe we'll do some more showdowns on secondary. But I want to focus on some of the primary weapons. That's why I'm doing this video, just to kind of talk a little bit about my preferences on secondaries. So you'll almost always see me using the G18, though, especially on console. On PC, you'll either see me running the MP, whatever it's called, and the Raffica. So those are my two choices. I would say they're all pretty much the same. I don't really think secondaries are as important as people think. I have seen some pretty awesome pistol quips, though. I saw somebody get a 20-man kill streak with a suppressed 1911. I was watching that the other day, and I was just like, wow, this is impressive. I'm really impressed that he was able to do that, because the pistols aren't really that good in this game. I don't understand why they made them so weak, considering that it's going to take so many bullets to kill anyways. I don't know why there's so many. There's like fire caps on some of the pistols, and it's kind of annoying. I found that I can actually, I feel like I can fire the G17 a lot faster than I can fire any of the other ones though, but I think it is a little bit weaker than the other ones, and it does have a faster drop off. So there's a little bit of trade-off here and there on which pistol is technically the best of breed, but I found that the G18 just, it saves me in situations where I would die with a normal pistol. Like if I was to go into a fight with a like a G17, since it's basically the G18 but it's semi-auto, if I was going to a fight with that in close combat, I'm most likely going to lose. Where with the G18, I can sometimes, you know, come out ahead, because you don't really have to aim down sights with the G18, because it does have so much hip fire, or so much recoil, that you can just hip fire the thing. It makes for a pretty awesome weapon, I found. A lot of people have mentioned that they thought the G18 is overpowered. No, guys, the G18 is not overpowered. Considering that you can only kill people that are really up close, is the only time you're really going to benefit from having the G18. Comboed with the fact that the suppressor actually increases the spread on hip fire, makes it not really that good from the hip. So you have to be really smart when you're using the G18. It's by no means overpowered. I don't think that it's overpowered at all. Like I was kind of shocked that somebody had even ever said that, because I've never seen someone legitly think that the G18 is overpowered. But I think it's just fine. I mean, like I said, the suppressor kind of nerfs the hip fire on it, so it kind of balances out in that respect. But I still do hip fire quite often, because just because it has such a high rate of fire, it causes a little bit of recoil here and there. But hopefully you guys enjoyed this random Battlefield 3 rambling about gun stats and boring stuff like that. But those are my preferred sidearms of choice. Nothing special there, but this gameplay is coming to an end. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I think I went 15-2, 15-3 with the Magnum scope, so pretty awesome. But I will see you guys later with another showdown. Peace.